Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in and watching me make cookies. So I'm sure all of you who know me know that I usually do like a cookie day every year, and I have since I was born pretty much with my mom. So in lieu of that, because of COVID, I decided that I was just going to make some cookies and we're gonna videotape it, and you can ask questions or comment or, just watch. Please feel free to tune in or tune out whenever you want to, but I'm just gonna make some cookies, so we're gonna get started. But yeah, please feel free to comment. Go on the comment section, ask questions, do whatever you want. So we are going to make a few different types of cookies today. I did work today, so if I get tired, we may cut it short, but we'll see how things go. So first, I'm going to make some sugar cookies. So I have my stand mixer, and we're just gonna start going. So there might be a lot of quiet time because I'll be focused on cooking and forget that I'm in fact videotaping this, so please forgive me if that happens. All right, so putting in a cup of butter, because butter makes everything better. I'm gonna go ahead and start creaming this up. Jared got some cool slow jams to listen to. I hope you all can hear them over the sound of my mixer. Alright, so I'm gonna add in my sugar now, because what's a sugar cookie without sugar? I'm just kind of creaming the sugar and the butter until it gets nice and fluffy. So the cool thing about this sugar cookie dough that I'm making, the best thing about this is that I have these Final Fantasy cookie cutters that Jared got. So we're making Final Fantasy shaped sugar cookies that will then be frosted. I'm gonna try a new recipe for the frosting too, so we'll see how it goes. So after you cream the butter and the sugar until it's a little bit lighter and pale, I'm gonna go ahead and add in some eggs. And mix that up. I have this appropriately festive spatula. I don't know if you can see it, but it has little Santa Clauses on it. So just mixing in the eggs a little bit, gonna scrape down my butter and sugar. Just mix that up until it's kind of homogeneous. Alright, and now I'm gonna add in my flour and dry ingredients. So because these are sugar cookies that we're gonna roll out and we wanna try to keep as much of the shape of those Final Fantasy cookie cutters as possible, there isn't a ton of leavener in it besides the eggs. It's a little tiny bit of baking powder and salt, and then a little bit of vanilla extract. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix that up. I'm gonna clean as I go a little bit, so. It's making my mixer work a little hard. It's definitely a stiffer dough, but it'll loosen as you mix it when the butter gets mixed into the batter. That's pretty good. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna tilt that back. What's cool about this sugar cookie recipe, and if we want, we can put in the recipes at some point once we upload this video. But it is, you don't have to chill it. It actually can just go straight from mixing to rolling. And actually it helps to keep it from puffing up too much if you do that. If you chill it, then the butter in there will kind of pop up and turn to steam, just like the same thing that happens with biscuits. So, batter, take this off, don't need this anymore. Okay, so then for these sugar cookies, instead of using flour to roll them out, I'm actually gonna go ahead and use a little bit of sugar. And with these cutters and with this sugar cookie dough, I'm actually gonna go ahead and roll it straight onto like the parchment paper or like silicone baking sheet, whatever you have. Because then you don't actually have to move the sugar cookies after you've cut them out, which often, you know, leads to heartache because they will fall apart. So I'm gonna just break this up into a couple manageable sized dough balls. Thank you again for watching. We'll see how this goes. It's kind of the first foray into this, so, you know, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free. I'm here to answer them. And it doesn't even have to be about cookies. If it's about other things too, go for it. All right, so I have my sugar cookie dough. I'm gonna put a little bit of sugar down on my paper and a little bit of sugar on top of the dough. So just rolling it out. Specifically for these Final Fantasy cookie cutters, need to get it to the proper thickness, because you can see, so they're 3D printed, which is really cool, but there's like a specific thickness that I need to get it to in order to get some of the outlines on there. So, just rolling it out. All right, let's see where we're at. So there are 5 different shapes. I'm totally gonna say this name wrong. So we have Chocobo or Chocobo. I don't know how to pronounce it. But there's the fat one and the regular one. There's Cactuar, which is like a cactus character. There's Tonberry, which is this like throat stabbing demon. And then Moogle, which is my favorite. It looks like a little flying pig, basically, which is why I like it. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Maybe let's do the chubby Chocobo. That worked out pretty well. We've got like 1/4 inch thick, maybe 1/2 inch. Cool. And so because it's already on the parchment, which is really nice, then I can basically just peel the sugar cookie dough off from around it, and it should kind of keep the shape well. I'm gonna go ahead and do a Moogle now. So I wish that we could do this in person. Obviously, we're all trying to stay safe right now, but you know, next year, hopefully, things will get back together. All right. So, I don't know if I can like hold this up to you so you can all see it, but because it is a softer dough, you want to be kind of careful with it. But if I can hold these up, you can actually see the outline of the cookies. It's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and roll some more out now. Okay. Didn't necessarily space this very well by just rolling it out, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and work around it. So, the other cookies that we're gonna do today, I'm gonna do a pecan tassie cookie, which is kind of like a little pecan pie. And then I'm going to do some no-bake cookie candy, and there's one more. Oh, the snowballs, which are also called Mexican wedding cake cookies or Russian tea cookies. All right, doing the Tonberry. It's like a little green guy that has a lantern. Jared was telling me that it like, as you attack them in the video game, it like keeps building up like rage against you. I don't know what it's called, I'm sorry. But it like is something that you have to then fix by helping the Tonberries and by getting them a lantern. So I guess that's why it's holding a lantern. I don't know. It's probably super significant, and I'm sorry that I don't know anything about it. Okay, so Tonberry is out of the mold. This is actually working pretty well. Cool. That is excellent news. All right. I think this is probably the last one I'm gonna do on this sheet, and then we'll try to get them in and we'll roll out a few more. All right, maybe the cactuar on this one? Yeah, let's do that one. Oh, it's too small. All right, cactuar might be kind of difficult to get out of this mold. We shall see what happens. No, it's coming off okay. Need the aid of a butter knife, I think. So these little cookie cutters are a little finicky. I think just because they're not made out of like silicone, they don't let go super well, but that's okay. Might spray them with some, cooking spray to help with that. Oh no, the little things on the cactuar head are gonna get stuck. Let's find another tool. I feel like that's what so much of cooking is, just trying to find another tool that works. Okay, that's all right. All right, so we have 4 little sugar cookies. Now we're gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. I just have my oven set at 325 convection, which kind of drops it down to 300. So if you're doing them in a convection, that's a good setting. If you're doing them in a regular oven, between 325 and 350 is good. All right, get these in. I'm gonna wash my hands off and do some more. Do any of you have any questions about cookies? Please feel free to ask them. All right, let's get another sheet pan and roll out some more cookies. Got some sugar down.
Hey, someone asked what you put on the parchment.
Oh, I can't see any comments. Oh, if you guys are asking comments, I can't see
Are
anything.
you not seeing them?
No, I'm not seeing any comments. That's why I was asking. Technical difficulties. I had no idea. I'm so sorry that I haven't been answering any of your comments. It just isn't showing up on my little screen. So we will do that. But what I spread on the baking sheet is sugar, because yeah, the sugar cookies, because you don't want to use flour, because what keeps the cookies nice and short and, you know, crispy is not having a lot of excess flour. That'll toughen up the dough a lot. So instead, for sugar cookies or cookies like that, you can go ahead and use a little bit of sugar to help it not stick to your rolling pin. I'm just gonna have Jared send me the comments so that, you know, I can answer them, because yeah, I can't see them on my little screen.
I'm gonna transfer so we can take care of that. Yeah?
Okay, Jared is going to deal with it. He is my tech wizard, and he's standing by.
We'll be right back.
Okay, we will be right back. Okay, we're back and we have it. I can see your comments and there are so many of them. Thank you so much. The Moogle cookie, it's really exciting, right? Yeah, okay, so going back now. So oatmeal raisin cookies are pretty spectacular, and I'll tell you why. It's because oats are great. Not only do they have tons of fiber in them, but also you have these sweet little pockets of raisin that aren't too sweet, so they're pretty great. I will admit that they're pretty spectacular. So now that I can actually see your comments, please feel free to ask your questions again and I'll try to notice them and answer them and be helpful. You know, it is my job to, you know stuff about cooking, I guess, right? So. All right, so I'm doing 3 more. I've got the regular Chocobo. Those of you who have played Final Fantasy, please feel free to chime in. If you can write it phonetically, extra points to you. And these little Moogle cookies. I love Moogle, it's my favorite. All right, so I'm just gonna get this other tray in. We at least have one of each kind on this little thing, and then all of this extra dough will get made into something else when I, you know, have time and the inclination. So it's good. So there's like a little gap inside the regular Chocobo that I gotta get. It's like in between its legs. All right, those look pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this. Yeah, it is a bird chicken. That is what it is. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven too. We'll check back on those in a couple minutes. Yeah, Mom, that's true. Oatmeal raisin cookies are not traditional Christmas cookies, but they're still delicious. Chocobo. Chocobow? Is it bow or bow? Like a little bow. I'll take it. It's great. Thank you. All All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set this stuff aside, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next type of cookie while these sugar cookies are baking. All right, so we're gonna go to snowballs, AKA Mexican wedding cake cookies, AKA Russian tea cookies next. So just gonna set this down. Clean up a little bit. Should figure out a way to like send these cookies to those of you who are watching the stream to thank you for your viewership. Okay, so now we're gonna do the snowball, so let's grab that. The standard flattish Christmas cookie? Do you like gingerbread? Like the brown ones? Is that what you're talking about? Maybe? Chick-fil-A? I don't think that's how you pronounce that. I don't know. All right, so these snowballs, AKA Mexican wedding cake, AKA Russian tea cookies. There are tons of different names for them. They are like a butter cookie that have nuts in it. I'm using walnuts, and then they're rolled in powdered sugar after they come out of the oven, which are awesome. I think I also heard them called like cheater cookies or oopsie cookies or something, because when you bite them, like the powdered sugar goes down in your shirt and like people catch you. So I don't know. I'm so glad, yay, thank you so much. I'm glad you're learning things. Please feel free to ask any questions, or if I'm not clarifying, you know, I'm here. Even if you have questions about your upcoming Christmas feast, if you're planning on cooking at home, you know, I've been cooking a lot at work. We're getting ready to do our big Christmas takeout. So we are doing prime rib and duck confit à l'orange, and we're doing a 7-fish cioppino for those who are, you know, Italian and, you know, want to celebrate that. And then we're doing, I'm doing a vegan vegetable tart and tortelloni actually, excuse me, doing 600 individual tortelloni the other day. I made 600 tortelloni because each person gets like 15 to 20 of them. That was a lot. Can I clarify the butter? I mean, you could. Brown butter actually is really good in cookies. So if you take clarifying one step more, and you actually turn it until like the milk solids turn like a nice sort of like light brown, it is really good in cookies. All right, so same method as the other cookies we did. This is called the creaming method. So we are creaming first the butter just to kind of fluff it up a little bit, and then we are going to add in some sugar. Yes, that's true. Jared just said that the 600 tortelloni were made with the hand crank. Yeah, I didn't have my trusty KitchenAid with me. I had to do it all with the hand crank at home, at work. So that was it was a exercise in, I don't know, stubbornness. It's good. Is that a little reductive? What's that? All right, so we got butter, and I'm gonna turn off the mixer first, and then put in the powdered sugar, because that could be a disaster. Yeah, Mom, you caught that one, it's good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cream in the powdered sugar with the butter now. I just wanna kind of make it so it's a nice paste, nice and fluffy. Good. There are so many cooking puns. I actually have a Christmas shirt that's a little bunny rabbit holding a whisk, and it's "I whisk you a Merry Christmas." So I appreciate cooking puns, all of them. All right, so creaming this up a little bit. All right, right, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in some vanilla extract, walnuts. You can also use pecans. Hazelnuts are really good in this. Pine nuts, you know, whatever you want. Even though pine nuts are theoretically a seed, but still good. Often people that are allergic to nuts can eat pine nuts still. So keep that in mind if you know anybody that has nut allergies. Obviously ask them first though, don't just assume, because that could get really messy. All right, so adding in my dry ingredients. So that was basically just flour, salt, and there's no leavener in this cookie because you want it to stay that like nice little round. I'm gonna check on our cookies right now. The shape actually held pretty good. I'm gonna keep these in a little bit longer. All right, so now I'm going to slowly turn on the mixer. And we're just gonna mix this up basically until it comes together. You want it to be a nice sort of, it's like a drier batter because it's almost like a shortbread cookie that you then form into little mounds and then bake off. And then you roll them in this powdered sugar. So this will be for later. I'm going to go ahead and keep this over in the dishes. We're gonna have some dishes to do tonight. It's good. Tree fruits. Like apples and things? Like, are they allergic to the skins on apples? Tree fruits are rough. I love fruit. I'm so sorry. Okay, so got this nice little dough. And you can probably tell, if you've ever been to one of my cookie days before, or one with my mom, the cookie batches are significantly larger than the ones that we're making today because, you know, not seeing a whole bunch of people right now. So I figured the extras will probably end up going into work. So I'm sure they'll be happy to see them. But, you know, don't want to be sitting on several dozen cookies in the house. Okay, so I have this little like scooper. I'm really enjoying these comments. It's actually really helpful because it like gets me to talk about stuff. Good to know for future streams. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're allergic to them. It's such a bummer. But there are ways to, you know, work within that. So at the restaurant, we always have a ton of people with a ton of different allergies or sensitivities. You know, obviously gluten is like a huge allergy right now. Not right now. It's a huge allergy that people have to deal with, but there are a lot of people that have found recently that they have like sensitivities and stuff. So the no-bake cookie candy that we were making is gluten-free. Everything else though has gluten in it because, you know, I'm not allergic to gluten and this is my cookie show, I guess. That sounded mean and crass. But all of these cookies actually would work really well with like a 1-to-1 gluten-free flour blend. I use Bob's Red Mill a lot, and I actually make my own mix at the restaurant. But the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 cookie baking mix, I think it has xanthan gum in it already. But xanthan gum, for those of you who are not familiar with gluten-free cooking, kind of mimics gluten, and that's what kind of gives your baked goods texture. So like, you know, the chew in a bread or like the snap in a cookie, that's all from like the gluten. And so if you add in a little bit of xanthan gum with your gluten-free flour, it actually will kind of mimic the texture of regular flour mixes. So, tidbits. Okay, I'm gonna go check, wash my hands and then check on our sugar cookies. Okay. Let's check on those Final Fantasy characters. Cool, they actually kept their shape pretty well. So I don't know if you can see, the Moogle, the Chocobo, the Tombury. Jared's gonna try to zoom in so you can actually see them a little bit better. I don't know if it'll work. It's also kind of hot, so. Can you see them? Okay, I'm gonna set it down because it's real hot. But they actually held up pretty well. So these probably still have a few more minutes left on them. So while they're going, I'm gonna finish these Mexican, or snowballs, these snowballs. Yo, gluten up those cookies, I will. Tree fruits, what kind of tree fruits do you want in this cookie? You get, where get gluten now? Gluten? I don't know what you're asking, Jack, sorry. If you want to clarify, I'd be happy to answer, sorry. I think like Harris Teeter carries most of those Bob's Red Mill now, which is cool. I think Target actually does too. I think Target carries a whole bunch of the gluten-free flours. So even if you're not gluten intolerant, you can always go ahead and try them yourself. All right, so almost done. The xanthan gum. Oh yeah, so you can get xanthan gum. I think Bob's Red Mill actually makes like a xanthan gum too. So yeah, you can check. I'm pretty sure down here Harris Teeter has them. Target would probably have it. Or if you want, you can get it online. You know, I'm sure there are lots of cooking stores or other online services. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I do a lot of, I do a lot of cooking, gluten-free cooking at the restaurant because there are a ton of people with the sensitivities and the allergies, and so we try to accommodate as many needs as possible. So I've gotten really comfortable in the past several years cooking gluten-free. It's pretty cool. Oh, hard cherry chunk, that sounds delightful. It is a tree fruit. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the co-op, that would definitely have it. Like if you have a local like health food store or a local co-op, they'd probably carry a lot of gluten-free or like alternative flours. So, good tip, Mom. What all are your favorite types of cookies? Please put them in the comments section. We'll see if we're making any today. All right. Last dough ball. All right, now these don't really expand because like a shortbread cookie, they don't have any leavener in them. So they will kind of like flatten out a tiny bit because of the butter, but they don't really need a lot of room. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven and check on my other sugar cookies. Great. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on the rack to cool. Probably can't see my face, but I guess I can still talk to you while I'm doing this. Don't know what to say. I'm really excited about these little cookie cutter shapes actually. The fact that they held up. Once they put the frosting on them, the icing on them, you should be able to see it a little bit better. But pretty successful. So thanks, Jared, for grabbing those. All right, so now we have to wait for the snowballs to get out of the oven. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, while those are baking, is I think I'm gonna switch over to the pecan tassies. So we'll get those going too. So if Jared changes the little icon, the snowballs are gonna kind of take a back seat while we start mixing the pecan tassies. So I did all of my mise en place, prepped everything up. Oh, there's so many people. I'm gonna take a quick pause and read your comments, okay? Not like a quick, like not a pause, I'm just gonna read your comments. The cherries in your grandma's old fashioned, that sounds great. Oatmeal raisin chocolate chip fresh from the oven. Yeah, those are some of Jared's favorites, the chocolate chips straight out of the oven. Although recently we've been doing like the M&M cookies straight out of the oven. Those are pretty great too. Aunt Balma's magic cookie bars. Yeah, I know, it's on a sweetened condensed milk can. It was funny, I was looking for that and I thought about it, but that's just so much sugar that I didn't think we should have that many in the house right now. The snowballs are in the oven. Yeah, they will get all melted, but that's the good part. The butter. All right, so pecan tasties are kind of like a two-part cookie. You make the dough, which is like kind of like the pie crust, and then you make the filling. So we have, for the dough, cream cheese, and of course, butter. I just, you know, Christmas cookies, holiday cookies without butter, that's just, you know, it's not what I'm about. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this. I'm not gonna mix it with my hand. I'm gonna grab a spoon. I just remembered I had to check the snowballs in a little while. All right, so right now I'm just gonna cream the butter and cream cheese together. I like doing this one by hand instead of in the mixer because you can make sure that the flour gets incorporated without over mixing it. Also, it's a good workout, you know, a little arm workout. Okay, so mixing up that butter and cream cheese is pretty good right there. Now I am going to switch to using my hands. I guess I could tell you the quantities if I remember them. It's like 1.5 cups, 2 cups of flour to 6 ounces of cream cheese and a stick of butter. And so I kind of treat this again sort of like a pie crust. So you're just kind of rubbing in the cream cheese and the butter until you can kind of form it into a ball. It'll start kind of coming together in a little bit. Now this dough, it works well if you can get it in the fridge and chill it for a little while, but I don't really want to wait for that, so I'm gonna cheat a little and I'm gonna go ahead and just put it straight into the molds. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I love cream cheese too. So that was an 8-ounce block. I definitely ate like at least a tablespoon of it when I was cutting it off of the block. There is still some left in the refrigerator though. So maybe I'll make bagels tomorrow. All right, so all of this has kind of come together. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the counter so I can work it a little bit more. My sink is filling up with dishes rather quickly. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and work this dough a little bit. Kinda fill it out, okay? All right, cool. So this is the dough. I'm going to take a little drink of water. 1 second. And check the comment section. Okay. And also follow up on a work question. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. All right, cool, now we're back. Sorry, I just had to deal with the work thing. So Glass Half Full is open for takeout right now only. We're only doing takeout, we're not doing any dine-in service. So I wasn't at work, but they still were there. So just, I'm always on call. All right. These are the pans we're gonna use for the pecan tassie dough. So I use little muffin tins. I've got these little itty bitty muffin tins. It should be something spectacular, you're right. I was thinking about having a cocktail in that mug, like something light and refreshing, but I also realized I was a little dehydrated, and because I'm a spectacular lightweight, drinking while live on camera, probably not the best idea. So, no hot chocolate because it's too warm in here with the oven on. But we can pretend. You can pretend that it's hot chocolate with some brandy in it if you want. All right, I'm just spraying my little muffin tins because although they're non-stick, this dough with the cream cheese in it kind of likes to stick really badly. So I'm gonna go ahead and heavily spray them and start forming them. So just put a little pinch of dough in each container. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of like work it up the sides a little bit. There you go, that's a good idea. Yeah, once I'm more comfortable, I'll go ahead and increase the alcohol intake. How about that? All right, so little balls of dough in the little tins. These might be some of my favorites. I mean, obviously all of the ones that I chose today are like the favorites because I usually do like 12 to 15 types of cookies on cookie day. So instead we're doing 4 and that's enough. It's enough for after a work day, but thank you so much for watching and going through this with me. We're just trying to iron out details and figure out, you know, this is what we want to be doing. Hi, Melinda. I see your little wavy face. All right, so pecan tassies, little miniature pecan. I feel like I go between pecan and pecan depending on like how I'm talking or what I'm talking about. It's just like caramel and caramel. I say them at different times for different purposes. I don't really know why. Might be pretty darn close to perfect, which is great because I don't have another tin. We'll just make these big guys a little bit fuller. How about that? Okay. All right, so then what we're gonna do here is just kind of push the dough up the sides. That's also the reason why greasing it helps a little bit because you are sort of manipulating the dough a lot. So it helps to kind of make sure that it's well greased so that it's less of a chance to stick, because once you've gone through the trouble of making all of these delightful cookies, you want to be able to get them out of the tin so you can eat them. So just working up the dough. I could do a biscotti tree. Yeah, so one of the other big things that we would always used to do, usually only when I'm doing it with you though, Mom. I don't usually do that when it's just like a regular, or not like a regular, but when you're not there, I usually don't make the biscotti tree. But it is delicious and delightful. Do like an actual video of that one. Measure it correctly so that it actually goes up, not wobbly, but you know, it's part of the charm of it, right? When it's like tipping over. Yeah, the Kransekaka, that was really fun. For those of you who don't know what a Kransekaka is, it is a like almond, almost marzipan-y kind of textured dough that you form into these little descending donut rings, and then you know, obviously the biggest one is going to be the base, and then you build it up so it looks like a Christmas tree, and then you decorate it with, it was royal icing, I think, right? Royal icing? I think it was royal icing, or like some sort of powdered sugar icing. All right, I'm gonna check on the snowballs really fast, see how they're doing. still need time. I'm actually gonna turn my, no, I'm not gonna turn my oven up. Yeah, I'm gonna turn my oven up. It's just taking too long. I'm being impatient. So I just turned it up to 350 convection, so. Sorry, that's bracing. The brand, you should look up pictures of it. I think Jared actually had it on one of the little like pause screens, the Kranzakaka. It was pretty spectacular, actually. We made it last year when we visited Mom in Ashland. It was pretty great. So what I love about these little itty bitty trays is that it's basically just a thumbprint. It's a lot easier than having to build up the sides. You basically just put your thumbs in and build it up. Oh good, and it's royal icing. Thank you for concurring. Concurring? Thank you for figuring it out. I don't know. Sorry if I start becoming a little nonsensical. Work was a little crazy today. Just making tons of food. So yeah, today, what did I make today at work? I made the duck confit. I made a truffle cream sauce for my 600 tortelloni. I made a shallot and port demi-glaze that is going to be going with our prime rib. I made... Oh, there was so much more. Why can't I remember what I did today? I like blocked it out. I don't know. Just getting ready for Christmas food, basically. It's good. All right, so slowly moving right along. Just gonna do these little thumbprints and then we'll go ahead and make the filling. What's cool because they're so tiny is that you don't have to like par bake the crusts like sometimes you would do with pies. Jared get a cameo? That is up to Jared. Does Jared want to walk in front of the camera or is he just gonna be the is he gonna be the man behind the curtain? There you go. He's waving from the couch. Oh, he's creeping in, maybe. There's a little bit of a delay on the live, so I can't see exactly what's happening. You see his hand. You got his hand. That's Jared's cameo. You got his hand. Do you think? Thanks, Mom. Thanks for keeping an eye out. We still have some time to go. We're just waiting for them to get nice and golden brown on the bottom. But thank you for looking out. I appreciate it. I know I don't have a timer running right now. Oh, spectacular. Hot chocolate with brandy. Excellent. It's quite a festive drink. Especially if you don't like eggnog, you know, hot chocolate is lovely this time of year. All right, this is the last tray of these little cookies. You know what's crazy actually? We're getting like done pretty quick here. This is being very efficient. We have one cookie left after this, and then we have to decorate the Final Fantasy cookies. So. That's fun. I don't like eggnog, but I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of it. Oh, that's what I did. I baked off a whole bunch of desserts. The eggnog made me think of it because I made like 45 eggnog pot de cremes that are gonna be served with a rum raisin sauce and some toasted almonds. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people like it. I have some eggnog in my fridge right now because Jared likes to have a little bit every once in a while. So salty. It's okay, I don't really like white chocolate either. It's okay. It's okay though, as a kid I know, right? The eggnog pot of creme, it's really good. And yeah, it's gonna be served, what else did I say? The rum raisin compote and then toasted almonds. So that's gonna be really spectacular. I hope that people who enjoy eggnog, unlike myself, will like it. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and make this filling. I'm gonna move my pan spray out of the way so I have a little bit more room to wiggle room, you know. All right, so brown sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of salt, a little bit of melted butter and vanilla. Gonna do 2 eggs. Oh yeah, so the other desserts on the Christmas menu, I guess I could talk about them too. I know, I'm sorry, Katie. White chocolate, yeah, it's not my favorite. I guess I just, you know, if I want chocolate, I usually just want chocolate, but I use it a lot in my desserts. I'm just not a big fan of it personally. All right, so got brown sugar, eggs, all of that good stuff. And then I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and add the pecans. I get made fun of a lot down here because I say pecan most often, whereas everybody down here in the South says pecan. Pecan-tassies. All right, so basically you're just mixing that up. It's kind of like pecan pie filling, but without the corn syrup. It doesn't really need it. So it's super viscous, delicious. Okay, and while this is happening right now, I'm gonna just check my snowballs again. Oh, cool. They're pretty good. Pretty good? No, a little bit longer, I think. So you can see on here, it's a little hot, but you want the bottom to be a little bit more golden brown than this. That just means that they're still kind of not set all the way. But yeah, you can see a little bit of like golden on the edge, just needs a little longer. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fill these little cookies now. So you don't want to fill them too much because there is a lot of egg in here and it will kind of souffle up a little. Okay. I mean, what's a cookie day without a little bit of mess, right? But souffled pecan-tassies, maybe not the kind of mess that you want to mess with. See what I did there? There's a joke. I can actually see Jared because he's behind the camera, so he laughed, which was helpful for me. That's good. If we choose to do another live stream, I'm just curious if there are particular types of food that y'all want to see. Y'all, did you see that? I'm slowly becoming part of the North Carolina. The North Carolina culture. But yeah, so if we end up doing another live stream, are there any types of foods that you think would be fun or that you'd really like to see? You know, things like sushi or pasta or like things that you wouldn't necessarily try without like the help or aid of a video? I don't know. Marty Cook's joke compilation books? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So, just trying to fill these cookies, not too excessively. Pasta, Katie, heard. Is there a particular type of pasta? Do you want like ravioli or spaghetti or linguine or special shapes or gnocchi perhaps? And biscuits, cool. Ooh, Cajun food, that's fun too. That's great. I'm not as like familiar with the Cajun cuisine, but I've definitely become more familiar after we went to New Orleans. I definitely got more into it. Started making gumbo a lot more. How to season a cast iron skillet, awesome. Definitely will have to do that one outside potentially, or at least disable my smoke detector because it's very sensitive. Turkish Kayserian, hook me up? Yeah, totally. You can definitely do that. So that's the little dumplings things, right? Yeah, the Turkish, for those of you who can see the comments, the Turkish Kayseri, it's like it's almost like the equivalent of like their ravioli or dumpling, basically. It's got like a spiced meat filling usually, and then with the cream sauce. Am I getting that right? I looked into it a little bit, but didn't get super in depth in my research. But they're really cute, the shape. Unlike ravioli, which, you know, is just like this adorable little pillow, it's like this, it's almost like a four-sided triangle, or like a pyramid. It's very cool. Greek, spanakopita, and gnocchi, definitely. No need to have a pasta machine, other hand pastas. Oh, that's a good call. I do have a pasta machine though. I have several, in fact. So we could do pastas. All right, I'm going to quickly fill these last few and then check on the snowballs. And also put these in. Okay. Oh, there's a big old glob of sugar in that one. That'll be good. Tasty. I wish that we could add scent into this video, because I will admit all of the butter smells in the house right now are pretty on point. Oh, paella, that is a really good one. I actually have a really cool paella pan that I got not too long ago. Braised veggies? Oh, okay, cool. Was that on there? Is that a comment on there? Sorry, Jared is my helpful eyes when I don't catch something, but braised veggies, cool, that sounds great. I'm all for vegetables. Are there particular types of vegetables that you would like to learn how to braise? Like, I guess like root vegetables, or things more like a ratatouille type thing? I guess if you have specifics. Cioppino, that's a good one. Okay. Oh, I want some braised vegetables now though. That sounds delightful. All right, sorry, just cleaning up the edges, checking my snowballs. It's funny, like talking through cooking. I'm not super used to talking through cooking. So I hope that it's not too unintelligible. All right, so with these guys, you want to roll them when they're still hot, but not quite this hot, because it will completely melt the powdered sugar. So we're gonna let this cool for maybe like 2-3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and roll it in the powdered sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and put our pecan tassies in the oven. Okay, do a little bit of cleaning, clean as you go. There's just a little bit of brown sugar at the bottom of the bowl. Okay. Okay. So then the powdered sugar that I have in this bowl right now, I'm gonna take a little drink. Braised veggies on polenta. Yeah, that sounds great. Root vegetables, cool. I actually have these Moroccan spiced root vegetables that are really good, so maybe I'll do that. That's really nice because it's got like some lemon in it and all of the Moroccan spices, and you cook it down so that they become really tender, but they still hold together really well. So I'm just going to whisk up this powdered sugar a little bit, loosen it up, because for some reason it's very clumpy. And I could sift it, but I don't really want to. So there. All right, so maybe a couple more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the trivets. Even though I don't really have to put the trivets down, it just makes me feel a little better. So we're gonna put these on there. And then this will sort of be our staging. And this will actually be the first cookie that will be done. So that's exciting. All right. Wait for a couple more seconds. Take a drink. How's everybody doing out there? You having any fun? It's good. It's good. We're good. All right, I'm gonna test one out. I think these are actually pretty good. We'll see how it goes. But so yeah, it's like you can hold it in your hand. I mean, I have asbestos fingers from working in the kitchen, but you want the cookie, you want to be able to hold it in your hand comfortably without it burning you so that the powdered sugar won't entirely melt. And then I'm just gonna kind of roll it in this unfortunately clumpy powdered sugar. I should have sifted it, but I don't care enough. It's fine. It's fine, it'll hold together really well. See, look, got a little powdered sugar coating. I'm gonna do a few more than one at a time now. Efficiency. It's good. I did just say asbestos fingers. That's what I say, because yeah, I can grab things sometimes like straight out of the oven. Today actually, I was pulling duck confit out of the duck fat, and I only had like 2 pairs of gloves on, and it's hot. It's good though. Oh, tagine. That's cool. I really want to get a tagine at some point. It's not like on the list, like top priority of kitchen things that I want to get, but it is definitely up there at some point. Okay, just coating these adorable little snowballs. I don't think Jared will want to lick my fingers, but he is allowed to eat a cookie. My mom asked if I'm gonna let you lick my fingers. You can maybe lick part of the bowl.
Right.
Oh yeah. When are you gonna go to Morocco next? Can I come with you? Can we do that? That sounds delightful. Okay, so then actually, the last cookie that we're doing before we, you know, frost the Final Fantasy lovelies is a no-bake cookie candy, which is obviously by the title, one that you don't have to bake. If you didn't get that from, you know, what I've been calling them all night. That sounds delightful, Melinda. I would love to do that. We'll try to figure it out. There's a Moroccan shop in Ashland. I feel like that's Mom's way of asking us to come and visit her in Ashland. What do you think? Maybe? I don't know. Together? That could be fun. You want a cookie? Is that what you're asking for? Jared's sticking his hand out. I'm gonna give him a cookie. Created a monster. I guess for Morocco, you'd fly. Would you fly off of the West Coast or the East Coast? Which one? Probably the East Coast, right? Like somewhere like JFK or Newark would probably make the most sense. Okay, snowballs. The snowballs are done. First cookie fully done. That's really exciting. Okay. I'm gonna rinse off my hands. Clean up this powdered sugar mess. Hand Jared some cookies. apologize if I'm out of shot. I need to artfully put some cookies on the plate. Okay, so clean up for a second. And then next, we're doing some no-bake cookie candy. So this is Secret Hand Steals cookie, more at 11. Yep, it's real. It's real, Hunter. Okay. Hunting for games. I guess hunting for games. Should I be calling you by your moniker or your actual name? All right, so no-bake cookie candy. Don't bake this one. It boils on the stove a little bit. So in my saucepan, I've got sugar, cocoa powder, a little bit of salt, and butter. And then in here, I've got some milk. I'm gonna go ahead and mix that. And then we're gonna go over to the stove now to work on these no-bake cookie candies. So, turn it up pretty high. Basically what we're gonna do for that mixture is we're gonna bring it to like a full rolling boil. And then in here we have some quick oats, and actually these are gluten-free oats specifically, which I just found out not too long ago that a lot of oats are still processed in facilities with wheat. So again, if you have somebody with a gluten intolerance, just make sure that you're getting gluten-free oats. I have an induction burner. I have a new one actually. The only problem is said induction burner, oh boy, it's been a long day. Said induction burner has a really loud fan, and while Jared was able to EQ out the sound, it was really bothering me. So I didn't do this time. But I've got to do some research and see if I can find one that's quieter maybe. Or just suck it up and deal with it. So instead, you get to see at the stove with these delightful little snowman towels. You know, 'tis the season, right? All right, so just mixing this all together, whisking it up. And to get nice and bubbly, because it's kind of gonna cook the oats. So, you know, quick cooking oats take about a minute to cook. You're gonna basically bring it to a boil and put in all of your ingredients, stir it up really well, and yeah, then we're gonna put it onto these little sheets using 2 spoons. So. Check on the little pecan tassies. Not done yet, just in case you were wondering. They're not done yet. All right. So basically, yeah, bringing it up to a boil, it allows the sugar to totally dissolve, allows your butter to melt fully, incorporates the cocoa powder really well. You can also use margarine for this. I'm pretty sure the original recipe had margarine, but I have butter, so we're using butter. I'm gonna go ahead and get a wooden spoon ready to go, because once this is sort of whisked up, I'll switch to the spoon because it will be significantly easier to stir it once the oats are introduced. I'm also going to get a trivet ready to go. These are lovely cork trivets. I believe I got them at IKEA. I know I got them at IKEA. Who gets to do the dishes? That's a great question. Probably be a joint effort. Jared and I are a team. Jared's volunteering now. He also gets to eat the cookies though, so I guess it's kind of payment. All right, so just waiting for that to come up to a boil. I could start prepping the pouring things, but I kind of want to just wait and make sure that this is good, because once it kind of goes, it kind of goes. Oh, and you can see in the bottom of the screen, there's this adorable little rotating plate full of snowballs. Jared set that up. He's very, very technical. It's very sweet. Yeah, it's good. So I'm using for mine chunky peanut butter. You can use creamy peanut butter. You could probably use almond butter or sunflower butter if you'd rather. But I just really like the crunchy because I like the little texture that it gives, this little snap pop. But just make sure that if you're gonna use it, you have to use a little bit more than what you would use for the creamy peanut butter. But I'm not really giving you any of the quantities. So maybe I'll put them in the comments section if we end up posting this as a video. Oh, Grandpa Ray made the margarine. That makes sense. I mean, the oil definitely would make the cookies a little bit shiny, glossier. That's totally fair. I do love butter though, and I like the flavor of butter. Although there have definitely been some like alternative like plant butters that I've tried that are not bad. So, all right, I hear it bubbling. We're gonna go ahead, stir in. Gotta get rid of my whisk. Add in my oats and peanut butter. Now we're gonna basically stir this up for about a minute until all of the peanut butter gets melted, until the oats kind of start picking up the moisture. Oh man, chocolate and peanut butter. This is such a winner. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the stove now. And let's just keep stirring it. Sorry, I keep dancing around. Jared's trying to keep me in focus. He's so good at it. I'm not good at staying on my mark though. All right, so you can see the mixture. It's nice and gloppy. Gloppy? Yeah, I'm really selling it, right? It's good. Gloppy texture. Oh, that peanut butter's been really well incorporated. And so then now we take our little metal spoons. We're gonna put this in the sink. Okay. Now you can make different sizes. If you'd like a little petite cookie, you can do little spoonfuls, or you can do bigger spoonfuls if you like monster cookies. They're really rich. There is quite a bit of sugar in them. So they're almost like, I don't know, if you've never had them before, I don't know, is there like a good way to explain what they taste like? It's kind of like fudge mixed with oats, kind of? I don't know. It's delightful though. Here, Hunter, I'll make you one really massive cookie. We'll figure out how to send it to you. How about that? That's Hunter's cookie right there, guys. All right, so just scooping these up. Just portioning them out. You could also make really itty bitty ones if you want to, but I feel like you need to get at least a bit of a chew. So I like making them, you know, I don't know, what size is that? A halved golf ball? It's a good reference size for something that big. A silver dollar? People know what silver dollars look like anymore? I'm sorry I didn't lick the spoon. I just saw that comment. Not really feeling the chocolate and sugar combination right now, which is hilarious because I'm making so many cookies. Should probably turn the stove burner off, shouldn't I? Just felt the heat of it. All right, tray one. Now these take a little while to set up. You basically want them to fully set up. gosh, this is an absurd cookie. That's just Hunter's absurd cookie. Okay, just gonna keep chugging away at this. Yeah, who licks the bowls? That's a really good question. I don't know. Jared gets to eat the cookies. Generally speaking, I would let those who are helping me lick the bowls, but you know, there's nobody else here right now, unfortunately. It'd be really great if there was like Wonka vision and you could actually, you know, smell and taste food straight across the television or the live stream, as it were, you know. Okay, it starts getting a little bit harder as it cools. You can see how quickly it sets up, but power through. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna check on the little pecan tassies. Pecan. Weigh in, how do you say it? Do you say it pecan or pecan? Please feel free to let me know. We have a pretty good spread too of the United States right now. We've got the Southwest represented, we have the Mid-Atlantic states represented, we have Oregon, so the West Coast. Yeah, it's pretty good. We may have, I don't know, I can't see who all is in there. We might have some New Yorkers. I'm not sure who all is watching. All right, last couple. I'm gonna get, so as to not overly concern you all by not licking the bowl, I'm gonna scrape as much out of this as possible. Okay. All right, look at that. It's pretty good. All right, so now just need to tuck these out of the way to harden. They're actually already hardening pretty well. You can see I can like pick them up almost as like a whole. So they're pretty shiny too. I feel like Grandpa Ray would feel okay about these. I hope so. Okay. Sorry, going out of shot to set my cooling cookies down. Gotta check on my little pecan tassies. Now I feel like I'm just overthinking it. No, I don't remember how I say the word correctly. It's good. Okay. Not quite. Still want them, we want them to be a little bit golden brown on the bottom. Otherwise they'll be a little bit too wet, a little soggy, and they won't come out of the tins very well. Oh, dare I leave the shot? I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough life. All right, so now I think the last thing is I'm gonna go ahead and put these sugar cookies on this little tray, and we're gonna go ahead and make the appropriate Final Fantasy colored frostings to frost them. Okay, so these are our little Final Fantasy cookies. This is a Moogle. This is the little flying pig thing. This is the Cactuar, little cactus monster thing. The fat Chocobo, the regular, skinny, I don't know how to classify this, but the other Chocobo, and then the Tombury. So we're gonna go ahead and make our little frostings for this now. So I'm making a very traditional royal icing for this. And I like to use pasteurized egg whites. You can also use like meringue powder that you can get at, I'm pretty sure places like AC Moore, Michael's, like any place that has like a cake decorating section carries meringue powder, and then basically you just mix in water and then mix it into the powdered sugar. But as long as you have pasteurized egg whites, they're fine. I sometimes put these in smoothies, so I feel pretty good about using them. And because they're pasteurized, you know, they're safe. And USDA even says on the thing, USDA inspected egg products. So basically what I'm gonna do, I have all of these delightful little mixing bowls so that I can make tons of colors. Speaking of Japanese games and food products, mochi. Oh yeah, absolutely, mochi. I actually almost made it the other night because we were doing a Japanese food night. I made some sushi and some like wakame salad. So mochi is made out of like rice starch, sometimes with tapioca starch too added to it, depending on who you talk to. But you basically cook it into a paste on the stove. You can also, if you have a rice cooker, some of them have a mochi setting on the rice cooker. Bye, Melinda. They've got like a mochi setting on the rice cooker, and so basically what it does is it cooks rice and then it'll like beat it so that it becomes like a really sticky batter, and then you pour it over like a rice flour mixture, kind of like knead it, and then you put it around different things. Like I think Ichiro Daifuku, which is a really traditional one, is like it's like a red bean paste wrapped around a strawberry, and then you use that like stretched rice dough over the top of it. So there you go. All right, so we have our powdered sugar. I'm going to slowly incorporate some of these pasteurized egg whites. Just do it a little bit at a time, basically until you get the right texture. Just takes a little finesse. You can always add more, but there's, you know, a certain amount that you can't take back. Roland Berry. Ichiro Daifuku, I think. Okay. This is precarious. Just don't really want to get powdered sugar over absolutely everything, so I'm trying to be careful. So royal icing is really good if you're making like a gingerbread house or gingerbread cookies. And yeah, as long as you have pasteurized egg whites or, you know, meringue powder or whatever, it's perfectly safe to eat. It also basically turns into glue. So depending on how much liquid you add in, it makes a really stable frosting. So this will be, instead of like a buttercream frosting, which some people prefer on their cookies, this is definitely more of like a crispy, crackly top. Okay. Just transition now to not a whisk. Sorry if the sound of the bowl hitting the counter is obnoxious. Guess I could have done this with the mixer or with like a hand beater, but again, it's a good arm workout. Okay, so right now you can see how delightfully gloppy it is. So this is really good for like piping this sort of texture. So I'm gonna go ahead instead of flooding. So there are like two different ways that you can do sugar cookies. You can do piping or flooding. Flooding is where you basically pipe an outline and then you flood it with the other filling. So it's kind of like a filler. You're making latkes right now? That's exciting. I made latkes a few days ago with some blackened catfish. Not super traditional, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that for the piping texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some into my little bowls. Don't want to make a spectacular mess. Little ice cream scoops are great for portioning out stuff like this. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit in each. How much filling when you pipe an outline? It really depends on the size of the cookie. It's a really good question though. So like for these massive cookies, I don't know, I would say each cookie is gonna get maybe 2 tablespoons of the flooding, like the filling, but I'm gonna just do them piped because I don't have enough piping bags to do all of them. More like a dough bowl with filling. It's like just the filling, like the top of it, basically. It's not like, yeah, it's not like on the inside of the cookie, it's just you're basically filling in like the outline that you've made. Okay, and then I kept a little bit back just in case we want to try the flooding. But so now we're gonna just do some colors. All right, checking on my cookies. Oh, these look good. Grab my appropriately Christmas. It's very difficult to grab. I'm going to use my hand towel. Okay. So you can see, I'll bring them over. But the little Cantassies, they've puffed up quite a bit. So they've got this little fluffy sort of filling. And then we let them cool for a second so that we can pop them out. And that is it for the oven, I think. So I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, so the different colors, I have a little cheat sheet for, all of the colors that I have to do for Final Fantasy characters. So I have to do yellow, which is for the Chocobo bodies. This is Sunset Orange. This is yellow. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do yellow for the Chocobo bodies. Okay, and then we're gonna do some orange for the claws and the beacon things. Okay, we're gonna do some like purpley blue for the wings. Oh, this one isn't open yet. That's exciting. Opening up some food colors. Okay. Probably should have checked to make sure that these were open. Fiddly, it's fiddly. Okay, there you go. I was watching the Great British Bake Show the other day, and Mary Berry helpfully said something like lemon juice helps get dyes off of your fingers. I thought that was pretty neat. Okay, and then we're going to do a little bit of Baker's Rose. That's a delightful name for the Mughal nose. Okay, and then we need a couple other colors. What is this? Flesh tone. No, I'm gonna do brown. I'm gonna make a lovely red and green brown. And then we need some forest green, and we need a slightly like lighter green. So we're gonna do that and a couple of drops of yellow. And the last thing is we need a little bit of black for outline. Whew, that was a lot. All right, now I need spoons to mix it up. All right, so just mixing together these colors. This is going to be sort of like the darker green for the cactuar body. So I need to add just a touch of black to darken it a touch. Okay. So, got this sort of like dark green color. So we're gonna hopefully turn a nice shade of brown. Now we might have to add a little bit more red. And then a little bit of yellow. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is the orange. The yellow is the big guy. Just going to hint at outlines, I think. All right, this is gonna be our lighter green. Might need to add a little more yellow. No, there's enough color difference, I think. Delicious cooking jellies. Yes, cooking paints. Yes, we're mixing paints now. Bob Ross would be so proud. Happy little cookies. Oh, I'm really sorry if you can hear that. It's kind of a terrible sound. Hopefully it's not too obnoxious. Okay, and last is our Baker's Rose. Now I just have to put these in some piping bags and get to town. Exactly, we only have happy accidents in cooking. You can usually find a way to fix it if you mess up that badly, so. Well, this is getting to the end of our evening, folks. The chocobo was supposed to be yellow, but now it's blue. How fun. How fun. Happy little chocobos. Okay. These piping bags are kind of absurd for the quantity of frosting that I'm doing. That's okay. I think this is the brown. Kind of looks more like gray, smog gray. I know, right? Isn't Baker's Rose a delightful name for a dye? Okay, getting there. I promise the piping should hopefully be more exciting than mixing the colors up. Who knows? We'll see what happens. 4 more. We can do it. Yellow. Where to get piping bags? Online. I actually bought these from the restaurant a while back, but you can definitely get them online. And you could also get them probably from the same places like AC Moore, Michael's, any place that has like a baking section. You can get reusable ones too, which are great. Like you can wash these out a few times, but they start getting kind of greasy, so they're not as, they're definitely more for, you know, not super repeated use. All right, last one. Oh, that is a dark and rich toned black color. Okay, I'm just gonna scoot this out of the way so I have a little bit more room to work. Yeah, little Ziploc bags work really well too. You just have to make sure you get the ones that don't have the fold out corners, because those will definitely get in the way of like a crisp line. Okay, I'm going to grab my handy dandy bowl scraper, this little tool, and also a pair of scissors to cut off the tips. So I can kind of scrape it up the bag. If you have like a metal bench scraper, that works too. You just have to be a little bit more careful because you don't want to shred the bag. All right. I'm just gonna work it down to the end a little bit. Well, thank you so much for watching this, guys. It's definitely been an adventure. Live streaming cooking. I think, yeah, like cooking classes could be fun. Okay. All right, last couple bags. Getting into the efficiency and quiet portion of the evening now. Okay, cool. We got it. We got all of these. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and start decorating these little characters. So let's do the little chubby chocobo first. So I'm just gonna do a nice little outline. Focusing, sorry, so I'm not talking as much. I apologize. Okay, and then we're gonna accent it with this delightful orange color. Probably needs it on the claws too, right? And then we'll finish up. Yeah, that's the black one, I think. And one last little part. Okay, there you go. Little chocobo. Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna do one last one. We'll do, how about the Moogle? So I'm gonna do the little top of the Moogle ball. Yellow. Apparently they vary in different colors. So I'm choosing to do mine in yellow because I already have that made. And then I'm going to hand the chubby chocobo to Jared so that he can put it on the rotating plate. And then just fill in the nose and the ears. And again, the little eyes. Just kind of shake it out a little bit. There you go. Oh, Moogle. Ta-da! It's exciting. Could do a little bit more embellishment. I think it's got like a little, it's almost like a little cat. It's like halfway between like a cat, like a flying pig and a cat kind of, right? All right, well folks, thank you so much for watching my stream. I'm just gonna decorate some cookies, but this has been really fun and kind of an adventure and test into this foray. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll get to see you all soon. So again, this is Marty Cooks. Hopefully there'll be more videos or live streams in the future. Have a good night. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Bye.